Hi, my name is Rhonda from Mbaka Design, and today I'm going to show you how to make a pair of Mommy's new mittens. I had a pattern up before that was Mommy's simple mittens that I had from a few years ago, and it was using a yarn that isn't available anymore. So I've rewritten the pattern slightly to work with a different yarn, and the yarn I chose to make this set in is the Charisma yarn from Loops and Thread. And you can see right here the label information. I know often you like to know what the weights are. Now another one that you can use that works equally well is Lion Brand's unique yarn. And here is the information on that label. So you can see they're exactly the same. So it's 3.5 ounces and 109 yards, 100 grams for 100 meters for both of them. So these will work up very similarly with your 6mm hook. So what you need to do first is pick the yarn that you want to use. For this pair, I used 2 balls because I wanted to have the stripe work almost the same on each so that they looked very similar. If you're using one like the unique yarn, you will need about 1.5 balls of yarn to complete both mittens for the pair. To begin, you'll need to put a slip knot on your hook and chain 12. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you have your 12 chains, and I am going to be working in the back loop across. We're going to be whip stitching your cuff together, and I'll show you how to do that after. So I'm not worrying about working in the back bump, but I'm going to work 1 single crochet in each of the back loops. So not this loop, just this one here. So 1 single crochet in each all the way across. So by the time you get to the other side, you'll have 11 single crochets. And this makes a nice cuff. It'll allow you to fold it if you want it to be folded up, or you can have it underneath your jacket, and it'll keep your arms warm as well. So you'll have your stitches all the way across, like so. And now what we're going to do is chain 1, turn your work, and you're going to work across the other side. Now when you're working across the other side, we're going to work under both of the loops, so the front and the back loop of the first stitch of each row, and then work under the back loop for the rest of the stitches except for the final stitch of the row. So we're going to work under the back loop for the next 9. And then in the final stitch of the row, you're going to work under both of these loops, the front and the back loop. So both, and work a single crochet there as well. That just makes it a nicer edge on both ends. Chain 1, turn your work the same way every time, and you're going to repeat this for a total of 23 rows. So once again, you work under the front and the back loop for the first one only, and then the back loop for the next 9. And then under the front and the back loop for the final one. Now what you're going to do next is you're going to continue this until you have a total of 23 rows. And when you hit that point, I'll be back to show you what to do next. Now after you have your 23 rows for your cuff, it'll measure approximately 7.5 inches without being stretched. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we are going to work along the top of the fabric of these stitches to start making the mitten, the base of the mitten for the palm of the hand. You need to work 23 single crochets evenly across the top here. So what I do is I always do a chain 1 first, and then I work my 23. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Basically what it is 1 per end of each row. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Try to go under only one loop or into a hole where there is only the one loop above. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, and 23. Okay, now you have your 23 stitches across the top. Okay, and this is making the cuff of your mitten that goes around your wrist. So what you're going to do next is you're going to fold this together, because now we're going to continue around this working in rounds. All right, and this is how I do that. We're going to do 1 half double crochet in the first stitch, which is this one here. Don't forget you did a chain 1 on the corner. We're not working into the chain 1. You're going to be working into the first stitch. So yarn over your hook, insert your hook into the first stitch, and just keep them together closely like that, just like the fabric is touching, and do your half double crochet. When you whip stitch up this cuff here, up this seam, if this is a little bit loose, you can just add a little stitch right to the base of it to hold it together. So don't worry if there's a bit of a hole there. We can fix that later. So we're going to put 1 half double crochet in the first stitch and 1 in each of the next 3. So 1, 2, 3 more. Now you're going to do 2 in the next stitch. So 2 in this stitch. And now we're going to do the repeat of 1 in the next 4. So 1 in this one, 1 in the next one, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and in the next you're going to do 2. So 2 in the next stitch. So basically we're increasing 1 stitch every 5, not to confuse you. So 1 in each of the next 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 in the next. 1, 2. Do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and work 2 into the next stitch. And now we're going to only have 3 stitches left. So you see them here, 1, 2, 3. We're going to work 1 in each of those. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. So now we've gone around the cuff one whole time. The next part we're going to do is work 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. I'm not joining. I tend not to do a joining stitch if it is a single crochet or a half double crochet. Just remember here that your first stitch is actually right here, because the post of the stitch falls on this side on the stitch. Let me see if I can point with something for you. So this is the post, but the loops that you work into are here. Okay, so the first stitch is going to go right into that loop there. So for this round, we're going to do 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. Now because we are working in continuous rounds, I like to mark my first stitch. So I know that this is, when I get to this stitch marker, I stop because my round is over. So we're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch around for this entire round of the mitt. And when you get to the end, you can double check. You should have 27 half double crochets. So it's 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. And once we get back to the stitch marker, you know that's where you get to stop for this row end or round end. Okay, so see how this is marking this stitch? That means that that's the end of the round for us. And next we'll move on to round 27, I believe. So for the next 27, 28, 29, 30, 4 rounds, you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So I'll meet back up with you after I catch up to that part, and I'll meet you back on round 31. Now I've completed those repeat rows, so we have now met round 31 at this point here. Now for this round, this is the one that everyone gets a little bit nervous about, but it's not as hard as it looks, I promise. So for round 31, we are going to do 2 half double crochets in this first stitch. Now don't forget to put your stitch marker back in to mark your first stitch of this row. Now we are going to skip the next 8 stitches. So we've worked into this one. If you're not sure if you've worked into it, pull on the stitch and you'll see which loop it's attached to. So we've worked this one. We're going to skip 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right there. Now place a marker in this 8th stitch. I suggest a locking one so that it doesn't fall out when you're working. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Mark the 8th stitch. Okay. And this right here is going to be where our thumb is. So what you're going to do is just fold your work over slightly so that you can see these 8 stitches right here, and you're not working into them. Next, you are going to continue around the outside of the mitten, and the first stitch we're going to work in is the one after the stitch marker. So make sure your loop's on there, not too far away from the hook. We're not working into this one, we're working into this one here. And the first one, we're going to do a single crochet and a half double crochet. So the first stitch has the single crochet and a half double crochet. Now the next stitch, you're going to work 2 half double crochets. And now we're going to work 1 half double crochet in each of the next 2. So 1, 2. Keep going around the outside of the mitten. And we're going to work 2 half double crochets in the next stitch. One half double crochet in each of the next 3. So 1, 2, 3, 2 in the next, 1, 2. We're going to do 1 in each of 3 again because we're repeating the sequence 3 times in total. So 3, 2 in the next, 1, 2. And the last repeat. Sorry, my yarn keeps getting hung up on something. 1, 2, 3, and 2 in the next. 1, 2. And we have the first stitch and the last stitch of this row. Now the final stitch, you work 2 half double crochets, this one right here, and now we're back to the very beginning. So what you have after this round, you can see where the thumb hole is now forming on this side of the mitt. So if you stick your hand in there, you'll see how it is. And this is how you have your fingerless mitts. Don't worry about this not fitting right now. It is going to sew up nice and tight, or not tight, but nice, nice and snug around your wrist, because it is ribbed. So it will give you some extra room. It just looks like it's wide open right now. So your thumb will be going in that hole. Now, remember the trick. If your hook falls out, you stick your hook in and make sure it's the front loop, not the back loop that's pulling, so you know which way to put your hook back in. So the front loop is moving. So now it's in correctly. For the next round, and for quite a few after that actually. So for round 32, 33 to 38, you'll be doing 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. I'll go through the first one for you just to show you how it's going to look. So after we've done round 31, we're going to move on to round 32. Round 32 is 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. So we're going to work 1 in that first stitch, put your stitch marker back in, and work 1 in each of these stitches around the entire mitt. So that's 2, we're working into that single crochet, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. So you've worked all the way around the mitt. You have your 27 stitches. This is where you're supposed to be at this point. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work round 33 to 38 off camera, and I'll meet back up with you for round 39. So for the next 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38. For the next 6 rounds, 1 half double crochet in each stitch around. I'll meet you back at round 39. I've completed up to round 39 now, so I have those repeat rounds of 27 half double crochets around. So at this point, your mitt's almost done, you just have to close it off. Now to close the top of the mitt, we start at round 39. And for round 39, we are basically just decreasing the number of half double crochet stitches in this round. So first we're going to do a half double crochet 2 together. So yarn over the hook, insert, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook, pull up 1 loop. So now you have 5 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 5 of those. Now we've taken 2 down to 1. That's your first stitch, so mark it. The next stitch, you're going to work a single half double crochet in. Now if you don't know which ones you've worked together, pull on it and you'll see the top of the loops move. So half double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to do a half double crochet 2 together again for the next 2. So 5, pull through, half double crochet in the next stitch. We're going to decrease by doing a half double crochet 2 together for that one. And then next is 1 single half double crochet. We're doing this all the way around. So decreasing, so we're doing a half double crochet 2 together. And you're going to do a half double crochet in the next. half double crochet, 2 together, half double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet, 2 together, 1 half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, 1 half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, 1 half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, and then your final half double crochet of the round. Okay, now at this point you can see the top of the mitt is starting to take shape. It's moving inward because we're decreasing the top, so it'll turn into a nice rounded tip. That was round 39. For round 40, simply work 1 half double crochet around in each stitch, and there will be 18 of them because we've decreased by 9 stitches in that last round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so for round 39, you've completed your 18 half double crochet stitches. Next, we move on to round 40, and in this round, we're decreasing again. We'll be taking an additional 6 stitches out of the equation. So we are going to start with a half double crochet in your first stitch, mark your stitch, and next we're going to decrease. We're going to do a half double crochet, 2 together, and make sure you know which stitch you need to work into. Pull on it. You see this one pulls, so this is the right one. Half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, half double crochet, half double crochet, 2 together, half double crochet, and half double crochet, 2 together, and one more half double crochet, and one more decrease of the half double crochet, 2 together, like so. So for round 41, we are going to do half double crochet, 2 together all the way around. So half double crochet, 2 together, mark your stitch, and do that again in the next 2 stitches, and the next 2. We're decreasing this down to 6 stitches. So after you get to the end of this round, you only have 6 remaining stitches. Okay, now we have our 6 stitches at the top of the mitt. Now we have completed round 41, and we have 6 stitches remaining. We are going to finish off. So chain 1, snip your yarn, but leave a significant amount of yarn left over to weave in. I left about 12 inches. You're going to use your hook and just pull that end through your chain. Gives it a nice little ending point there, so you're not going to lose all those decreased stitches. You can take your stitch marker out now. Take your yarn needle and your yarn, and we are going to close the top of this up. The way I like to close up my mittens and my hats is by weaving this yarn end through the stitches. I go through the front loop. Remember, the front loop faces you. It's the closest loop to you. The back loop is the furthest away. So simply go under the front loop and then go between the two loops, in between the V, and go down under the front loop, and do that on each stitch around. So just weaving in and out of that outer stitch. And bring that back through there. Back up. All the way back to the beginning. And then you just pull to tighten. It'll close up the top. There won't be a hole there now. And then in the center, just stick the yarn needle to go through the mitt to pull that yarn inside. And you can weave it through the stitches on the inside after you're finished the rest of the mitt. Now we go on to the thumb. At this point, your mitten is going to measure approximately 11.5 inches from the bottom of your cuff all the way to the tip of your fingers. If you'd like a shorter mitten, you can just eliminate rows in the repeat section from round 33 to 38. So you would just go into that section and say, I need to take an extra inch out to make this mitt fit a little bit better for me. And you could take out 1 inch, will be approximately 3 rounds. If you want to take out half an inch, you could take out about 2. And then you'll have a smaller length of a mitten. Now we're ready to add the thumb to your mitten. What you need to do is get your hook again, your 6mm hook, and get your yarn. And you are going to join your stitch with a slip stitch through the marked stitch and the stitch immediately on the other side. So this one right here, this one's already been worked into. If you can see right here where I'm showing you, see how this stitch is right here? It's worked into this one here. So if you were to pull on this stitch right here, you can see how it tugs on this loop. That's because we've worked that stitch already. We're not working into it again. So insert your hook through the marked stitch across the thumb opening to the stitch on the other side. Put your yarn on your hook with a slip knot. Pull this through, both of those, and chain 1. Basically, we are just attaching those together to make it a little bit more secure. Next, and this slip stitch that we just did there, that doesn't count as a stitch. Next, we're going to do 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. So we're going to work 2 half double crochets in this side, on the opposite side where we ended up when we put the 2 stitches together. 1, 2. So 2 half double crochets in the first stitch, 1 in each of the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so now we have our 6. And now we're back to the first stitch where we have that stitch marker in again. I'm going to take it out for a minute. I left it in because we needed to know where we need to work the last 2 stitches. For the last 2 half double crochets, you work them in that same stitch that you had the stitch marker in. So 1 and 2. And that is the first round of your thumb. Now we're going to work a half double crochet in each of those stitches around again. So look over here. This was your slip stitch. Don't even worry about that one. But this one here is your first half double crochet. You need to work into this first half double crochet. So we'll work 1 half double crochet in the first stitch and mark that, because now this is the beginning of your new round. And you're going to work 1 half double crochet in each remaining stitch around for the thumb. In total, that's 10 half double crochets. So that's the first one's in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So you have your 10 half double crochets worked for your thumb for the second round. Next, we will be doing a repeat of that. So round 3 and round 4. So for 2 more rounds, you'll do half double crochet in each stitch around. I'll join you back after I have completed that to work on round 5. So I'll see you back after 2 rounds of half double crochet. Now I've completed the last 2 rounds of half double crochet. We are now on round 5 of the thumb. We're going to do a half double crochet 2 together all the way around. So we are going to decrease from 10 to 5 stitches in this round. So we're going to do the first decrease of the half double crochet 2 together. Oh, got a little snag there. It's better to let it all undo for that stitch than to let the snag stay, because it will make that part of the mitt tighter. It won't have the same elasticity as the rest of the mitt. So if you ever do snag a piece of or a fiber of the yarn, let the stitch out and redo it. For fitted garments, it's really important. So half double crochet 2 together all the way around. Stitch marker got in the way again. And we will have 5 stitches when we get to the end of this round. That's 5 stitches. And for the next round, we're going to do, this is round 6, 1 half double crochet in the first stitch. Okay, we've already worked in this one. 1 half double crochet, and the next 2 will be half double crochet 2 together, half double crochet 2 together. Just making the tip of the thumb close up nice and neat. And that is the end of the thumb. What we need to do next is finish off. So we're going to do a chain 1, snip your yarn, leaving a bit so that you can weave it through here. I still weave through this remaining 3 stitches just like we did at the top of the mitt, working through the front loops of the stitch only, which are the loops closest to you. Let's weave in and out from these stitches just to make it nice and neat. You pull to tighten and then insert through the thumb into the inside of the mitten. Try not to snag any of the stitches in there. I've done that once before where I've started to weave in before I was ready. And we can fix that up after. Remember, if there's any tiny holes left over between stitches, between rows, we can weave the yarn through those and close them up a little bit from the inside. Like there's a little bit of a gap here. And if I don't like that, because I always try the mitt on my hand and then check for the little holes and tighten them up a tiny bit, pull slip knot back through if it's come through, make sure it's secure on the inside so it doesn't have that knotted appearance there. So basically we are done this mitten. We just have to whip stitch up this cuff and weave those ends in the inside. Now for whip stitching the cuff, it's quite simple. All you need is your yarn needle, and we need to have left enough yarn at the beginning to do that, or you have to add a new piece here to whip stitch this closed. For the last part to finish your mitten, we need to whip stitch the cuff closed. Now what I do is I insert the yarn end onto the needle, and I will come back over here and I go through only under one loop on each side. And we're simply whip stitching through the loops all the way down, and you can pull to tighten after each one or after a couple. You only need to go through each loop once. That one I already did. You do this all the way down. Just under the one loop, I'm doing the front loop on both. On the right side of the project, I didn't turn this inside out. You can if you want. It looks a little bit different depending on which way you are working. And then you get to the end and I go through the bottom one twice before weaving in. And I like to weave in on the inside of my mitt. So I'll be turning the mitt inside out to weave the ends in. For the cuff, it's fairly simple. You can just turn it and try to go in a couple different directions for when you weave in. Make sure you're close to where you came through so you don't have a big string where you start. And then try a different direction to secure it. You can go as many times as you want. I tend to overdo it when I weave in. I like to have a lot of extra yarn hidden in there in case I need to mend something later on. You just weave it in and then snip the end and you're done. Now for the other ends that are still inside the mitt, you need to go back and weave those in still to complete your mitten completely, to finish your mitten completely. And you have your lovely mitt that you can wear for the winter. Now, if you were working this mitten for someone that has limited mobility, or for example, when my grandfather lived in the nursing home, a lot of the people there, if they needed to go out for an appointment, needed something on their hands, but they couldn't use their hands as well because they were very arthritic. I would recommend, instead of creating the hole for the thumb, just keep working in rounds with the same 27 stitches to the same height without adding any additional ones. So it's all one mitt without the thumb. It'll be wide enough and it'll be comfortable because they can put their whole hand inside without the thumb hole, so it would look more like that. But it will be the full 27 still in width, so there'll be room for their thumb and they can have their hands in a ball or they can have them flat. It'll be much more comfortable than trying to get them to get that thumb in the thumb hole. I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial for Mummy's New Mitts by Mbaka Design. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Please send me an email at mbakadesign@gmail.com or contact me on my contact form on my website. I'll leave the links in the description for this post. And I'll also leave the link to the full written pattern if you'd like to pick it up on my website because it is a free pattern. Have a great day. Thank you.